Okay, we'll call the meeting to order here tonight, and we don't have anyone here for public session at this time. We've had a chance to look at the minutes. I hear a motion for approval
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Does anyone have any questions or comments or corrections? Okay, then all in favor say aye,
Aye.
and that passes. Now we have the approval of the vouchers, and again, we've had a chance to look at those. Do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved.
And do I hear a second?
Second.
And Mr. Chairman, could you, or Mr. Fay, could you explain anything about those to us, or anything that stands out that we need to know about?
Nothing on the vouchers. It's pretty standard listing, so there's nothing that I would draw your attention to. I will when we get to the financials. If
Okay.
That's all right.
Anybody have a question on the board about any? Okay, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that is passes. And then the project status report, we don't need a motion, but we would like to have the information.
Point of order,
Okay.
Madam Chair. We if I could go over some of those financial statements before we get into project
Okay.
status. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry. Yes.
All right. Because I'd like to draw your attention to the balance sheet if I could for a moment. And Steve, I was going to talk to you for a minute beforehand, but we got sidetracked. Specifically, if you look at the section under other property and investments, I've shortened that out some because I removed some of the line accounts like construction and sinking funds, and I've moved those numbers. The numbers are all the same everywhere, but where they reflect on the statement has changed, and I want to draw your attention to that. Our storm damage contingency, you see we've got 0 there because that's really got cleaned out when we had the storm. So to better reflect, and I think it does, if you look at the current and accrued assets, where it says temporary cash investments, that's really what we have a CD for $2 million in that. So this helps us better reflect where these funds actually are, and additionally, it helps in our calculation of days of cash more accurately reflects what that is, and that's on the summary. You see, by doing this, we've actually gone from 3 days to 11 on that calculation, but again, those numbers now are placed in and I think a more realistic way. We can't have a sinking fund. It was like a placeholder up there, and now this is where all the cash actually is in our bank account and in our temporary cash investments. So that is really for clarity, and I just because it's changed, I wanted to point it out to you. And I'm also pleased to inform that both departments have reported a positive net income for the month. The electric department exceeded our expectations, and they're plus over 135,000 for the month, and the water and sewer achieved a positive net return of over 138,000. So all of that's really good. I think it's worth noting that 48,000 of the electric department's net income of 135 can be directly attributed to our ability to shave peak. So if you went and look back last month on the October statements, you would see 48,000 in peak shaving. That reduces the wholesale cost to TVA by that direct amount. And now this month, in these statements, which will be reflected in the November statements, which are next month, you see we're over 75,000 in peak shaving. So all of that is very positive. We're really pleased that we're sitting back in the black on electric. That's all I have, Madam Chair. I'd be glad to answer any questions anybody might have.
Any questions about that?
Dusty, did I miss anything? Because you're on next month.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you just see how the master did that,
Yeah.
and then you're on for next month.
You nailed it.
Thank
He gets you in the black and he's gonna hand it off.
Yeah.
See, I
Well,
see-
you know, yeah.
I see how this is going.
Yeah.
Okay, any comments, questions, anybody? Okay, Mr. Fay, anything else you want to add in this report?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then that brings us to other business. So, Mr. Fay, you want to share with us?
Yes, I will. I'll just tell you that in the projects too, and I know that's just for informational purposes, all of that seems to be going fine. We're tracking to two of those work orders for aerial cable, and we believe both of them will easily be completed by March of this year. Now, for other business, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Todd and I hosted the Anderson County Leadership Class of 2023. We accommodated, I think, there was about 25 people in there, our biggest class, and they were tremendous. They have raised now that allocation instead of a drive-by. They apparently were wearing them out. They allotted 2 hours. We were there 2 hours, and we wore them out for 2 hours, and they were engaged and they asked great questions. It was a very good discussion we had. It was a fantastic group, and we've got a lot of positive feedback saying that this was the most enjoyable tour that they had anywhere they went, and most informed. So that's great. I'm thinking that that our future leaders of Anderson County are fully indoctrinated, and they are aware of how exceptional CUB is. So again, I always point to Steve Combs. Get the word out there. You know, and I really have taken that to heart. And every time we have a new group, because we have the youth, and this, of course, these are the adults, this kind of leadership, we're continuing to put the mortar in the brick and setting the foundation for what I think will be a very positive outlook for CUB. Now, on Friday, changing the subject, Todd and I met with Joe Hoagland, who is TVA's Vice President of Enterprise and Innovation. And this meeting was a follow-up to our previous meeting that we had with Bert Robinson, who is the TVA's Director of Government Relations. And the aim of these meetings, it's the ongoing meetings that we're having, is to ensure the future of Bull Run site and to confirm CUB's vision for what we hope is going to be a regional industrial park. We absolutely have our thumb on the pulse of that, because TVA is considering using parts of Bull Run for either a battery storage or a synchronization condenser, which is to support the transmission's grid stability. And I support that. Anything that TVA structurally has there that can be used to the public good for public power, then that is a great thing, and I'm all for that. The recent development is TVA, in conjunction with the governor, apparently is very interested in this. They're in talks with a potential technology-based company that's interested in using part of the existing structure. So, I mean, the phrase I use, I don't want a double wide in the middle of my planned mall, you see. So I want to make sure that we have understandings of how that's going to go, and even any structure that would be left on that site, I wouldn't want it in the condition that it's in now. That's going to be the entranceway, and I would want a lot of money spent in dressing up, the appearance of that. And I got assurances on all that. The TVA, with this new potential prospect, and I can't go into detail because of the NDA associated with it, very hush hush. I did meet with this prospect also, and I support moving forward on what they're proposing. I think there's a lot of gain for our region, but I mean, this is national in its implication. So Bull Run is now down to only one of two sites that they're looking and in the final stages of consideration. I think we're going to get it because there is so much positive to that. So privately, though, I made it clear, not to the prospect, I made it clear to TVA that I will strongly oppose any actions that restrict, diminish, or impede the development of a regional industrial park for Bull Run. What a regional park would mean for this area is it's just tremendous, because we're going to leverage it to get a 4-lane from 75 to 40, through Pellissippi, maybe go back to that old orange route. And there's so much to this and the possibilities of this site. So I met with Jeff Blash many times on this and John Bradley. And I'm hitting everybody I know to hit to make sure that we don't lose control of this thing. And I'm reassured all the time. So, in conjunction with this, however, with this active prospect that we have, David King of the Oak Ridge National Lab contacted me. And at his request, I've set up a meeting for next week where I'm going to introduce him to our state-of-the-art operation, our unmatched reliability, and the success that we have in meeting and exceeding the needs of our industry. And during that meeting, I'll discuss with him the vision for Bull Run and how the lab, because of the potential of this cutting edge new technology that they're talking about, how that can bring in some most desirable industry into this region. We're really looking forward to that, and all that is going to go down with him next month. A better relationship with CUB and the National Lab in order to move forward on what I consider a real opportunity and the cornerstone of what this industrial park can be and will be. Next month, our auditors from Brown, Jake, and McDaniel will be here to review the audit for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023. And finally, Christmas, in case you don't know, falls on Monday. Same date, but a different day of the week. Falls on a Monday. And last year, it fell on a Sunday. And like the city did last year, our offices were closed both Friday and Monday. Now, I spoke with Roger at the city, and he informed me that they plan, because it's Christmas falling on Monday, that they're going to close their offices on Monday and Tuesday, which will be the 25th and 26th. And I understand the county is planning to do the same thing. So unless there is an objection from the board, I plan to close the Cub offices also on Monday and Tuesday as well.
You don't need a vote on that, do you?
I know, but if anybody's shaking their head, we need to
Just
talk.
a nod of the head.
We need to talk more about it if they don't like that.
Okay.
But that'll be my plan. But I don't want to do it unless I let you all know and you're not in disagreement with it.
I don't see anybody disagreeing though. I think,
That's all I have.
okay. Okay, I had a quick question. The tornadoes that hit Middle Tennessee, did any of our people go that way?
We released some of our contract crews as we
Yeah.
normally would do to help with that. So that's our way of providing them assistance.
Okay. I was just curious. And as far as the Christmas lunch goes, thank you for that invitation. I think I speak for the rest of the board.
The city, Bill Riggs, because I sat with Bill and apparently he enjoyed that meal, which was good. He called and asked us for whoever was catering.
Oh,
You know, that
was good.
they did a great job.
They always do.
You know.
Yeah. But thank you. That
Yes,
we
ma'am.
were got
Thank
to be
you.
included in that.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. McNally, you have any comments, questions?
Nope.
Mr. Clark?
Nope.
Mr. Coons? And Mr. McBride?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank
and
you.
the meeting is adjourned.
I understand the city is trying to rearrange their lunch tomorrow, but.
We're moving.